cabin.
Well, hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Sorry, no content for Thursday. Friday, yeah. But, what's today? Friday. Thought I would come out and do a little content for everybody since it's the 13th of October. I know. 13th of October. That's a day I should avoid doing many things, but I'm not that superstitious. And in all honesty, some of the more fortunate days I've had in the year have been on Friday the 13th. Yeah. But yeah, I'm out here. I'm working on a project. I haven't been sharing this project because it's very involved. I'll just say a little bit about it. I bought a Victor, early Victor Dietz off of eBay, and I bought it for a friend because I thought it only needed some minor things, and he's going to take it out camping in a week to Tombstone, Arizona. They do Old West type of living history events out there. And his previous lantern was stolen, sadly. So I decided to find him another one, and I did. And it's an early Victor single wire guard type of thing, and I got it for a fair price. And when I got it, I realized that it needed a lot more help than I was prepared for. Yeah. I pulled it out of the box and it was kind of like a sausage chain, you know. One of the air tubes on the left-hand side that would be soldered to the fount was no longer soldered to the fount. And in the pictures I could tell it looked like it was loose at the manifold, like it needed to be, fixed there, but no, it was completely off of the fount. And I was like, oh, no. So yesterday I stripped the lantern. It was painted orange. Yeah. So I stripped it, and then I got it all cleaned up. But then one of the air tubes on the right side, because when they make those square tube lanterns, they take one long piece, okay, and they are what? Okay, square tube lanterns. Okay, let's do a little backstory. So the square tube Dietz, it's a piece of metal that's folded into a square, right? But then there's a seam that's on the inside that's crimped, and then they cut it in 4 places. They score it with a curve, okay, and then they fold it to make the frame. And I'll just pull one down here. I have a Dietz Victor, very similar model. But anyways, see there how they have a curve and it folds in on over itself like that, and then they solder it on all the corners. Well, on this side was completely off of the fount. Yeah, and the solder was failed here and here, and then it was, so when this came off, it gave when you take the globe plate off and everything, then it was really loose, and so it just hinged up and over, and this side, the solder here, was failed as well. But there's a little bend right here in the middle. You see that? It's a little bend. Come on, focus. Focus, please. Focus, please. Focus, please. Anyways, this is a bend. It's not soldered or anything. It's just a bend in the metal. And, doing my thing yesterday, cleaning and everything, it gave it a little more stress than it was prepared for. And that meant that the metal fatigued and it broke. Mm-hmm. I'm repairing it now, but yesterday the first step was getting the other air tube soldered back to the fount. Now, I didn't use solder. I don't solder. I know that's kind of a weird thing I don't do. Being into antique lanterns, I should really learn the craft of sweated tin. I really should learn how to do that, and I want to. I've dabbled. I've tried before. Not a whole lot of great results, but I've fixed a few things, and the trick to proper soldering is having the right flux and the right kind of solder, and a good proper iron, and also very, very, very clean surface. You have to have squeaky clean surface for it to spread over the metal and act as it should. So that is tricky. But anyways, there's a skill to it. There's an art to it, and I don't have that skill. So I had JB Weld. Now some people in the back row probably be like, "Oh my gosh, no, you didn't do that to an old antique lantern." Well, hear me out. Hear me out. I used JB Weld on the deck of the fount where the air tube would meet the fount. Okay. So I put a generous amount on there, and then I pressed down on it and gave it pressure so it would hold. Then I took a paper towel and I wiped it, all the parts that came squeezing out of the cracks, I wiped it off. And that way you wouldn't see it. You wouldn't even see it. You won't even know it's there. And then I did give some, and I let that sit overnight, and it held great. It held very well. And now it's sturdy. It's on there. The other corner that, where the bend, fractured and came apart, I applied more JB Weld onto that corner where the solder is, but I wiped it off. Of course, I squeezed it tight, and it's holding, and I wiped off the excess so you wouldn't see it. It's not going to be a real tidy job. This lantern was a basket case, and most collectors would see this lantern and say it's a parts lantern. It really is something you just take what you can off of it. And it was missing the lift. It's missing the lift lever, and it's missing a fuel cap. It's missing a burner cone. But you know what? I got it for a fair price. I'm going to try and fix it for my friend. If not, then it will be a parts lantern, and I will just chalk it up as a an oh well. But anyhow, I think I can make this work for him, and he's going to kick back what my investment on this lantern, as well as the restoration and stripping and all the work that I'm putting into it. So he's going to take care of me, and I know he watches the channel. So just know that I'm taking as best care of this thing as I can. I'm not going to give up on this thing, and I'm fingers crossed I'll have it done before next week, so he can pick it up and take it to his camping trip out there in Tombstone. So it's a little outside of the targeted era of their camp, but it will look fine. It's square tube design came out right in the late 80s, I think, mid to late 80s for Dietz, and this will have the right look for him for now until he finds the ideal lantern. But anyways, they'll have fun. Hopefully I can get this going. I might have a burner cone. I might, if I can't get one this weekend from a local source, I'll try and lend him one for the weekend until I can get the proper one. Anyways, it's going to work out. I'm not sharing any pictures of this thing. I'm not really sharing what I'm doing right now because it's not important. It's not for my collection. It's for his use. But anyways, that's kind of what's going on. But anyways, yesterday, since I had JB Weld out, I figured I would kill two birds with one stone. And I haven't shared this lantern yet. I bought for myself another lantern. This was actually before I bought this one. The OVB that's sitting here happily burning since I fixed it last Sunday. And this thing, let me tell you, you can say what you want about leaving a lantern as found, but seeing as the the surface rust and the way it's developed. There are some pits in the chimney, but this thing is not in danger of being consumed by rust. Not at all. It's very much a arrested decay, if you will. It's not going to progress. It's not going to, this lantern's not going to be lost to time because of me not cleaning it or doing anything to preserve it. It's fine the way it is. In the garage, there's no way this rust is going to progress and eventually, claim another lantern to time. But anyways, this thing is wonderful. I've been burning it all week, and I really like it. It burns very well. I haven't even blown out the tubes. I've done nothing to this lantern except for put a better fitting globe in it and repair the cracks on the fountain. And you saw the last video, so you know what's going on with this thing. But she's a really nice bench companion today. But this one lantern I have not shared with you guys yet. I purchased this off of eBay. Now the globe in it is not the globe that it came with. It actually came with a Prisco No. 0 style globe that I passed on to a friend, Steve Spalding. And he had a Prisco lantern he was trying to find a proper globe for. So we did some trading, and he got the globe, and I got a globe for another lantern that I needed a globe for. And but anyways, this thing, it was very affordable. I got it for a very good price, but the shipping wasn't very fair. They did eventually kick back a little bit of money for the shipping, but it was just not really enough. I paid way too much for shipping. I don't know why they charge so much for shipping. But anyways, I have a cool lantern because of it, and it's a very, I would say it's a fairly desirable lantern. Most collectors like these, but without further ado, I'll show you what I have. There you go. 1890s, early 90s SG&L square lift tubular. And this thing popped up on eBay, and I looked at it, and it's like, holy cow, this thing is beautiful. It has tin. See the flash of the shine, the subtle shine of the tin that's still on this lantern after 130 years. Here you go. Yeah, see, SG&L. Now this has the two-piece fount, and that is definitely a quality and design of the late 80s. Well, prior to that, 1870s, 80s. As time went on, founts became from 3 pieces to 2 pieces, and then it kind of stuck around 2 pieces, just a different style. But this has a center field cap, has beautiful age, and it appears to leak oil right there under that air tube, which is interesting. So there must be a leak there at some point. I don't know why, but I'm not going to question it. It does hold fuel in other ways. There must be a rust hole in the top, and it just kind of weeps. But as long as you don't swish it around, it's fine. But this thing had a flaw. It still has a couple of flaws. I'm not going to worry about this up here. You can tell the solder has failed up around the draft tube. Oh, too long of arms, but up around here, the solder has failed. The draft tube does move. It did move. Anyways, I'm not going to press it, but it's okay. It still works. But this little horseshoe clip, this little guy here, that was very loose. I'm surprised it was still on the lantern because it was completely, it was just holding on there by a thread. Not even a thread, it was just in there by the grace of God. So it was, the fact that it actually was still on there is actually pretty remarkable. So speaking of JB Weld, I just gave it a little dab on either side of it and just put it in and wiped off a little of the excess, and I let it dry overnight, and it's fine now, and it functions just as it's supposed to. And the square lift tubular, you just pull up on this little tab here, and then there, see? It's a fun design. It's very simple. It predates the Dietz high-low style. Actually, the high-low design actually came out prior to the square lift tubular. In fact, I think the very first square lift tubulars had kind of a high-low design. They had like a pinch lift type of deal. So it's kind of fun that the high-low idea and principle and design actually came out. There we go. Well, before the high-low. So there we go. This is pretty, you know. Let me get a paper towel here. I got a dirty one here that can just mop up some of this kerosene. I don't know where this leak is coming from, but it's kind of annoying. But I don't really burn this lantern that much. And you're probably saying, you know, why are you burning that blue globe? Well, I've burned this blue globe many times before, and it's never had a problem. So it's a high quality one. It's unmarked, but you can tell it's a quality globe. It's a nice heavy weight. And I'm just, I guess, a little crazy. When I first tried testing this globe to see if it would be one I could actually burn, because, you know, blue cobalt globes are very expensive. And I was feeling very brave. And so I tried it out. It came in another square lift, actually. It came in on one of my Dietz square lifts that a friend of mine found at a junk sale. And so I thought, yeah, I'd just try it out. And I lit it, and I had it low, and I just kind of watched it and kept an eye on it, because as soon as you start seeing anything, you can turn it out, and then it will stop. It will freeze. It won't. As soon as you remove the heat from the source, then it's fine. But it's a beautiful globe. And it fits this lantern okay. Could fit a little better, but it fits my other square lift perfectly, which is interesting because SG&L and Dietz were essentially the same size, but some minor differences. The draft tube on most SG&Ls I've seen is a little longer. But anyways, this is a wonderful piece I haven't shared with anyone yet. I mean, I've taken pictures, posted online, but I haven't really done a video about this lantern. But anyways, it's a cool piece. I have now 3 square lifts. I have what I would say a first generation square lift Dietz. It has the pinch lift. I believe I made a video about that. I'm pretty sure I did. And then I also have the other one that my friends found at the junk sale down by them in, what was it, Costa Mesa. And then I have this one that it's found on eBay. And you know, I was like, I kind of bought this to flip because I paid a very fair price for it. But then, you know, looking at it, the condition... Well, what happened here? Did I turn it down too far? You did. I did. Well, anyways, let's try that again. All right. Yeah. The burner in this is not original. No, it's not. It's... Oh. Well, that's weird. I got fuel. What's the matter with this? It snuffed itself out here. All that's ridiculous. Let's see here. There we go. Oh. Ooh. Okay. Easy. Oh. Well, okay. That's interesting. That is something I'm going to have to check out. It was popping. Yeah. So there must be some kind of problem with the airflow, and it was burning fine. I've burned it many times, and it's burned fine, but now it's not happy. Anyway, maybe it needs a fresh wick. I think I need to change the wick on this. Well, that's a first for the channel, right? Well, yeah. Old lanterns, you know. Old matches. You can't win sometimes with these things. It's almost a luck of the draw with these things. They strike anywhere, so they just don't make them like they used to. Yeah. That's an interesting topic too. Strike anywhere matches. Yeah, you've seen some of the... If anybody has seen an old movie, like an old murder mystery, or say like a detective type of picture, or a film noir, I would just say. Let's just say film noir. You see these guys, they would light a match with their thumbnail, or just kind of snap it, and it would light, right? Well, those matches were very volatile. And that's how they would do it. You could flick it and give that friction, and it would give it a little spark, and it would light a match. And it's really cool. It's a neat effect. And they haven't made matches like that for a very long time. Reason being is because they were so volatile that they could self-ignite sometimes. Given the temperature or being, jostled in a box, it could kind of self-destruct. And with these ones, these green light strike anywheres, I buy these at Ace Hardware, and they're the only place I can get anything close to a strike anywhere. But they've reduced the volatility of these matches, so they technically can strike on most surfaces. It says anywhere, but there's limitations. You can't strike it on a rubber, cloth, or soft surface for them at all. I've actually struck them on glass. I've used glass. I've had success on glass. And the trick is friction. Getting the right amount of friction in a certain amount of space to cause the heat to light it. But there's been reports why you can't get strike anywhere matches very easily is because a lot of stores don't want to carry them, because there was some article I read online where they were saying that they are very volatile, that they would self-combust, and there's a lot of insurance involved in shipping strike anywhere matches. It's funny because you can go on Amazon and order those very matches, but apparently the shipping is really expensive because of that reason. I think it's kind of ridiculous, because those, as you see, sometimes it takes more than a couple of strikes to get the match lit. So the formula it's flawed. Some matches strike easier than others. Anyways, just thought I'd share that. But my workbench here is metal, and it has the right amount of friction provided to light one of these matches. Some better than others. It's not what I'm doing. It's not operator error. It's the product. It is the product, and it's not always, ready to go. Let's let this cool out. Well, you know what? I wonder. Yeah. Let's see what's going on with this. Okay, a little wick's all twisted up here. Alright. It's an old wick. It's an old wick. Maybe it wasn't seeing very well. It's leaking. It's not leaking from anywhere on the underneath. No, see, it's fine underneath. There's no leak. It's coming up from the fountain on the top. I don't have a whole lot in here. There's something going on that it doesn't like. So, I don't know. Does anybody want an STNL square lip? That's not included, that's for sure. Well, I mean, it depends on how much you want to pay. These have been known to hit $500 online, just so you know. I know, I'm kind of crazy to actually burn it. But like I said, I've tested it and it's been fine. There. Well, shall we give it another go? What do we got to lose, right? Well, you know what? Here. Let's leave that globe out while we test it. I get another globe. And I do have one. I have one. In fact, I have a nice one I recently purchased. It's got amethyst. Is that pretty? You can see a little of that amethyst tint. Let's see if it fits. It might fit better. Yeah, it's not bad. That's kind of pretty. I think that's nice. Let's see. It's a little more bulbous than the other one here. Oh, I can't lift. It's so white it won't pass the... Okay, never mind. We have another globe here, this dirty old thing. Haven't cleaned this one yet. Came out of another lantern here. Let's give it a shot. There, that's better. You know me and my dirty globes. 3. Strike on 3 here. Alright. Well, seems to be a little happier. We'll see how that works. Anyway. That's funny. That sound you just heard was my acetone can. It likes to, you know, expand with the changes of temperature. It's actually a beautiful day out here. It's not hot at all. It's perfect. But there we go. SG&L. I look at the patent dates and I can't really make out the most recent. I haven't really done any real cleaning on this at all. But I would imagine the last patent date would be around 91 or 2 or 3, right around there. That's when they were still using the two-piece fount design. And Dietz continued this style of fount on the square lift to about the early 90s. And then they finally changed around, I want to say 93 or 4. They went to the soldered-in bottom, where it was a one-piece stamp with the fount and the wall. It was one piece. Pretty much the whole thing was stamped one piece, and then they had the soldered-in bottom. That came out in mid-90s, I believe. But anyway, I don't know what that problem was, but it's happy now. Seems to be working okay. But it's in good shape. You know, I addressed the little horseshoe clip there, and it's better. It's working happily now. So, it's in great shape. I love the way it looks. I wonder why it's leaking there. There must be a hole in the air tube and the top of the fount, and it's coming up through there. That's interesting. I never noticed that before on any of my other lanterns. But, oh well. Well, friends, I think we spent enough time out here today, don't you? Friday the 13th. I guess. All that ends well. All that is well ends well. I don't know what the old saying is, but anyways, you've heard enough from me. We're at 28 minutes almost, and you've heard enough. Thought I'd share the SG&L square lift and just catch up for the rest of the week. So enjoy your weekend and be careful whatever you do, naturally. But we'll see you guys again next week, next Thursday. Take it easy. Bye-bye.